What's going on, guys? Welcome back. My name is Brandon, and today we're going to be making an oil filter wrench. It's going to save me about 40 bucks. Stick around. Welcome back, guys, and I'm sure if I shopped around I could probably find a better deal, but let me show you what we're going to be building today. So this is what we're going to be building today, guys, and you can see here I can get it for like 18 bucks, but I think I can even do it for less than that, and it's kind of just a convenience thing. I need to do it, and I need to do it now. So here's the filter. This goes to my Suzuki Katana, and I've gone to Walmart to try to find the right filter piece, and I just cannot find it. It'll fit, but it doesn't fit right. So I'm just going to build one and be done with it, and then that way I know it'll fit right. And I know there's all kinds of other filters out there, some that have like a little hex on the end of them. That's not what this video is about. This is what I'm going to use for a filter. I use the genuine Suzuki filters, so I'm just going to build a tool to take this off. I have a piece of flat bar, 1/8 inch, and that's what we're going to be building it out of. So the way this works, guys, is you can see how it has like some little flat lands all the way around this, and then this corresponds to it. And you can see how this I can almost like hammer it on there, but it's too tight of a fit. And I can't find, the next one that I find is a little more sloppier than this. So like I said, I'm just going to build one, and I'm going to take you through that process. But let me show you why I'm actually building one of these. You tighten these on, and then you tighten it like one full turn or something like that once it makes contact. I don't remember, I'd have to look at the manual, but when you torque it to what the manual says, it is extremely hard to get this to loosen up, especially after it's been on the bike for 3,000 miles. Let me show you the bike and show you where the filter position is and how difficult it is to get it off. Alright guys, so here's the bike, and what I usually do is I'll take off this lower like belly pan, but you can see up in there, it's really hard to get to. That right there is the oil filter, so you can see how difficult that is to get to. So, but if I have it on a wrench, I can actually stick it down through, put an extension on it, and then loosen it up this way. You can just see how difficult it is. There's no room to get your hand in around there to get onto that filter. It's really hard for this bike, so that tool will be a must for this. And here's my Ninja 1000. This one is nowhere near as bad. You can see the oil filter right there is right out in the open, right beside the header exhaust, so that one's super easy. It's just this one right here is super difficult. So let's go get on it, and we'll get to fabricating that. Just curious, I'm looking at the filter, and it measures 66.3 millimeters. And let's check the filter. It says it's a 65, and oddly enough, inside this is stamped that it'll fit a 65 millimeter filter and a 67 millimeter filter. Well, clearly it won't. Yeah, so I don't know if that's something that just isn't manufactured right in this, or what the deal is, but it's definitely not fitting. Alright, so the next thing I gotta do is I gotta make the pieces that are gonna grab onto this filter. So I'm gonna start by putting an indexing mark on the filter and count how many of these little lands that there are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I need 14 pieces this wide as that land. Those lands look to be, say, about 13 millimeters would do it. And what I'm going to be using for that, guys, is I've got some 1/8 inch material, and what we'll do is I'll cut this to 13 millimeters long, and then we'll just wrap it all the way around the filter and tack it up, and that should work perfectly. So now I'm going to take this material that I'm going to use to build this, and I'm going to set my calipers for 13 millimeters or thereabouts and scribe a line. See that right there? And because I need to make 14 repetitive cuts that are fairly accurate, I'm going to be using my dry cut saw. It's an Evolution saw. And this one is model S380 CPS, and it's a 15-inch saw. So if you want to know about this or any of the tools that you see me using, I'll have links down below in the video description. And with most of the links of the tools that you see down there, including this one, if you buy through those exclusive links, you'll actually save yourself a pile of money, because I was able to work out some deals with some of these tool manufacturers that can pass the deal on to you guys. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this into the saw, and I'm going to line this up to my blade of where it needs to cut. That is right there. So now that I got this clamped into the fence here of where it needs to be, I'm going to put a nice crisp line using a utility blade or a scribe, whichever would work best. And ideally I'd like to have a stop right here that would stop the material that I can just bump it into and work quick. But I've got a nice cut line right here that I can see really clearly, and then I can just feed the material into that each time. Let me bring in and show it to you. You can see how crystal clear that is. So after I snip off this piece, I'll just advance the material into it until it meets that mark right there, and then we'll just keep making repetitive cuts. And I need to make 14 of these. Now the great part of this saw, as opposed to like an abrasive saw or a grinder with a cutoff wheel, that there's no dust. This leaves pretty much a burr-free cut. It creates very little heat, and these blades last an extremely, extremely long time. And you can get these sharpened. You can get them sent out. It's pretty cheap, like 20 bucks or something like that. It's not a lot of money. A lot cheaper than buying a new blade. For this operation, you're going to want ear protection and eye protection. It's really loud. Let's get going. So now I'm going to take each of these pieces and just put them in the vise and lightly file them down, get any burrs off them. Alright guys, I'm kind of making this up as I go, but I feel like probably the way to do this is to maybe like use a hose clamp and then just start tucking these in, get them all the way around, then cinch up the clamp. I think it's going to be kind of difficult to do. And then once I get them all in, cinch up the clamp, and then I can go around and tack everything together. Once it's all tacked, I can remove the band clamp and then go through and finish welding everything out. That's kind of like my thought. Whether it works or not, I don't know, but that's kind of how I think I'm going to go about it. So guys, I think trying to get them all in all at once might just be too much to do. So what I probably will end up doing is do like 3 or 4 at a time, and then weld those few together, and then move on and do some more. Make sense? I think trying to fit them all under here at once is it's going to prove to be too difficult. All right, so I got 3 of them in there, and they're falling on those lands. So I'm just going to tack these 3 together, and then I'm going to work my way all the way around and see what happens. Alright, so it's time to get our welder set up, and I absolutely love this welder, guys. I know you guys see this in pretty much probably every episode. This is my Fronius Transsteel 2200, and we'll start by turning on the valve slowly, nice and slow. It's still going to make a wicked pop. Listen. Yep, there it goes. Alright, I'll go all the way open. This is C25 gas I'm using for this. And we'll turn on the switch in the back. Where is it? Where is it? Right there. Alright. Now, so what we're going to do is toggle through our thickness. Look at that. It's already set to 125 thousandths. That's the material thickness. So this is a synergic machine, so it's all does its own thing based on whatever parameters you select. So for me, I decided I wanted to go by material thickness, so 125 thousandths puts it at 20.5 volts, and I've set it for 30 thousandths wire. I've set it for C25 gas, so it is ready to roll. I'm just going to purge the gas to make sure that the gas is coming out the end a little bit. There we go. And I'm running 20 CFH on the meter. So there, we are set up and we are ready to go. So let's start tacking this together. And for wire, guys, I'm using Matheson ER70S6. I really love Matheson wire. I've been using it for a while now and I will love it. Alright, so I'm going to set my ground clamp to this here because there's actually an O-ring and stuff under the bottom, and I don't want to go taking off this protective film and take a chance of getting oil shavings inside the filter. So I am just going to clamp it just like this right here and hope for the best. Alright, let's weld her up. Probably ought to have a hood on. So there's 3. 11 more to go. There's 5. I'm gaining. So the issue that I'm having right now, guys, is that this is going to be like super tight on this, and I don't want to have to pound this on to the filter. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense? So, because every filter, these are all just stamped, so every one's going to fit a little bit different, right? So I'm going to have to build in some like tolerance into this piece. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this filter a few times with some electrical tape, and that'll help make the filter a little bit fatter, and then that'll make this fit on here a little bit bigger. So that, hopefully that'll work. There. It's not liking that tape on there, I can tell you that. Alright, last one, then we will get this all welded out. Hello?
Thank you for choosing Visa and MasterCard services as your legal financial advisors. This is an important message regarding your existing credit card accounts. Thanks to your good payment history and good credit score, you have been qualified finally for an interest rate reduction between 0 to 5%. Several attempts were made to reach you. This is your final courtesy call before we are unable to lower your interest rates. So press 1 now.
Card services, how are you doing today?
Not bad, but you showed. And here we are, guys. You can see how I've used that little piece of tubing to slide inside to make it as a backer. Now I can just weld all of these up and I don't have to worry about the weld transferring over onto the inside and taking up that space. So that should work pretty slick. So now we can fully weld this out. Let's get going. Alright, here we go, guys. I got it clamped down to the bench. I'm just going to go all the way around it and weld this all the way out. So as you can see, guys, obviously I have like big gaps that I got to fill. And this is where, like I was saying, that backer really works well because it doesn't allow the material to poke through the backside. And another way you can do it is starting and stopping your welds, almost like you're doing a tack, but just keep doing it so that way it doesn't overheat the surrounding metal and blow it out. Let me show you. So what I'm going to be doing, guys, is trimming the little ball off the end of my wire. I do that every time when I start a new weld. And just start your weld and then stop it. Let it cool, start again. Just kind of do that in rapid succession and you won't have any problems with it burning out and blowing out or even going through the back. I'll clean this up and show you what it looks like. And that's what I just did right there. It kind of just looks like Pulse MIG, but yeah. And by doing it that way, it also keeps you from welding your backer piece onto this piece. So that's a good little tip if you have big gaps in metal. Alright, so now I'm just going to smooth up any of these welds on the inside just to make them nice and smooth. And I'm just going to use an abrasive stone on a drill. Alright, so I got it all kind of like cleaned up inside, so that looks pretty good. Now we just got to have a way to drive it to tighten it up. So I think what I'm going to do is put a strap across here, and then that way it'll fix that little blowout that I have right here. So we'll put a strap across it and probably just weld a socket, a 3/8 socket to it. Then we can just tighten the filter right up just like that. So we'll clip the corners like here and here, so it kind of makes a little radius, and we'll kind of like do a little radius over here too. You can see this is a lot thicker. This is 1/4 inch. Same stuff, but just thicker. Well, gaming guys, I just dug through my socket tray and I found a 3/8 drive socket that is a 9/16 socket by 3/8. So we'll just weld that on just like that and we will be in business. There it is, guys. Pretty slick, huh? All I've got left to do is just let it cool down and throw on a coat of paint on it and then throw it in my toolbox. And I just saved a little bit of money. And who doesn't like saving money considering I had all this stuff? And yeah, it's all free. So, and I get to do it right now rather than ordering the socket and wait for it to come in. And now I gotta go do an oil change. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. If this is something that you like, please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. New videos every Friday. If you're wondering what I'm working on before it makes it up to YouTube, you guys can catch me on Facebook and on Instagram. I'll have links down below. If you guys are interested in motorcycle content, go ahead and check out my other channel. It's called Motivated. I'll have a link down below. Until next week, guys, I will see you then. Take care, stay safe. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.